Welcome to NICTITATING Presents, a interview series with genre authors. My guest today is Maxwell Bauman. How are you doing?
I'm great, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So let's get right to it. What was the first thing you wrote that you started actively seeking publication for?
That would be a novella which is called Bafa Mitzvah and was originally published by Dynatox back in 2016 before it got republished in my short story collection, the Anarchist Kosher Cookbook from Clash Books.
And how long that was, like a novella?
Yeah,
Nice. Um, that's exciting. I didn't know you worked with Dynatox.
yeah, it was just a short run for CrawlCon.
Nice. And what for people that aren't familiar, what is that one about?
Oh, uh, the novella is about a girl who summons a demon so she could have a better bat mitzvah party than her snooty rival.
Well, there you go. That sounds pretty great.
It's like Fiddler on the Roof meets Carrie.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Um, so I basically met you at a Bizarro reading, but shortly after we met, you had a book out from Clash Books, the Anarchist Kosher Cookbook,
Yep.
which seemed to go over pretty well with people.
Oh yeah, it
And I
was a
saw you perform at least one of the stories from it, maybe even two.
yeah. Well, I did the title story, and I had a little Play-Doh golem with it.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Um, and then you did Mummy of Canaan, I think a year after that or two.
It was about 2 years after.
All right, yeah. So you've you've clearly operated in a lot of different genres because just this year you had a young adult novel published called
It's
forgive me if
called
I get the title wrong.
Gerald Ribbon and the Bird in His Brain.
Yes, yes. So that's a full YA novel, and then of course we have from Nictitating Books, House of Blood and Teeth, which is a haunted house body horror novella that we put out October 6th. And I think you told me off air your next project is like a sci fi fantasy thing.
Yeah, it's called The Giant Robots of Babel. So it's very Neon Genesis, giant robots kind of a thing, but it's set in ancient Babylon.
Well, that sounds awesome.
Oh, thank you. I enjoyed writing it.
Well, that's a lot of it. But needless to say, it seems like you operate in a lot of different genres. Why do you think that is?
That's a good question. I think I like hopping around because each one has their own style, each one has their own history to it, and I get to research and I get to learn all these different things and then put my own twist on it.
I mean, yeah, that is fun. Although I'll admit, mostly I've been doing horror lately. I will try to do subgenre type stuff. I guess that's how
Mm.
I delineate currently. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's fun to try different things. And sometimes I noticed when we were working on House of Blood and Teeth, um, some elements of it kind of came across as like a script. Have you ever worked on those?
Yeah, I've done a few screenplays. I did a version of Baphomet Mitzvah that won an award way back in the day.
Nice. Um, I know you've written that. Have you done like nonfiction type? Well, you had a story in an issue of Chicken Soup for the Soul, right?
Yeah, it was a short piece, but it was nonfiction. It was in their holiday issue, which is very exciting because thousands of people submit to that, and they only take 101.
Nice. Well, that's really cool. Yeah. So
Mm.
it seems like you operate in a lot of different modes, which is pretty neat. And yeah, I guess that's, it's pretty cool that you work in all those different things. So I guess we should talk about the novella a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And while I'm here,
yeah, yeah. So we talked obviously in 2020 about you doing some sort of like darker horror book, and we ended up on a haunted house narrative with like heavy body horror. Was there anything in particular that inspired you to have to write this kind of a book?
well, well, a lot of the short stories I had been reading at the time helped get me in the mindset for it. Like Harlan Ellison's uh, "I Have No Mouth and Yet I Must Scream."
Okay, all right, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean that's more sci-fi horror, but definitely has that body horror element there for sure. And
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I guess I can see that. Yeah. Were there any haunted house things in particular you read or movies you watched, or did you try to like kind of ignore that so you wouldn't be influenced?
oh, I watched a lot of haunted house movies for sure. Because you had recommended "Stir of Echoes" with
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Bacon, and that had a lot of influence. Just because it's working class family. It did focus more on the house and their relationships. I also watched Amityville Horror again, just for good measure.
Yeah, that's definitely in the book. I mean, there is that sort of there's sort of the family struggle as well as the financial issues,
Mm.
which I think works well in a haunted house narrative. I just prefer it because I know the majority of haunted house things, it's like the default is it's a mansion,
Hmm.
which is obviously like I don't mind that. It's like a different sort of flavor, but I don't know. I always find myself wondering when it's such a huge like mansion, like you have the money, just go somewhere else. But if it's like a a kind of more working class family, it's like well they literally can't afford it. So
Oh yeah, then it raises the stakes. It helps make the narrative a little more realistic
yeah, yeah, um,
because those money fears get that gets real.
yeah, yes it does. Yeah, that was one of the things I liked about the novella. There's a lot of like the house breaking down while the people in it are breaking down.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I thought that worked well. I'll probably mention this again at the end, but House of Blood and Teeth is currently actually on sale. The print book is on sale for $9.99, and the ebook is currently on sale for 99 cents until Halloween. So this should be up today. So listeners, if you want to check it out, you can go snag the ebook for $1 or the physical for $10.
Yeah, and the print version turned out so nice. Like, oh,
Thank you, thank you.
yeah.
I'm always sweating that a little bit because like the ebook, if you have like some sort of issue, it's a lot quicker fix. You just like go in and edit the document. You can usually get it fixed on the day, but when it's a print book, if you have issues, like that could be weeks. So
Yeah.
it was nice when I got the print, or sorry, the proof, and like opened it up, and I was like, oh, thank God, nothing's wrong.
Oh, that's a good feeling. That's
Indeed,
a
yeah.
good
And I also, I mean, I intentionally do, excuse me, print on demand. So like, at least I'm not doing like a print run or anything.
feeling. Hmm. Now your garage isn't going to be filled with these.
I mean, not yet, no.
Not yet.
Um,
Oh, but I'm spacing on his name. Who did the cover art?
Luke Spooner, I believe is the
Yes.
name.
He also did the cover for an anthology I was in called "Where There Are Dragons," an anthology of mixed emotions, which was published by Robber Dog Pub. So it's cool to have him do two of my covers
Yeah,
because
yeah, I
both of
like
you
his work.
have that included.
He didn't do the cover of Nox Paradolia that Nightscape did, but he did illustrations inside of that, and I had a story in that, and I was familiar with him because he did an illustration for my short story Unmoored,
Mm.
which is about old guy with dementia and his caretaker, and then I sort of flipped it around, like who actually has the dementia.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so I like his style a lot. He did something else that I'm familiar with, but I wasn't in. But I'm just blanking on it right now.
Well, and they're beautiful covers to have side by side. It's really great artwork.
Yeah, I really like his use of color and like his like little designs he'll tend to do as well as the obviously the art itself. Um,
Um, and that's part of the reason why I really love that paperback is because on the back cover, and you there's like a face there, but it's flipped upside down. You don't get that in the ebook.
no, unfortunately.
Uh,
You just get the little thumbnail, yeah. So he did a great job. I was really pleased with how that came out.
mm.
Um, so let me see here. Getting close to, I think, the end of the interview. But I would like to ask you some random questions,
Oh, sure.
and they are going to be totally random.
To- totally random.
For the sake of disclosure, we actually tried an interview yesterday, and my end didn't record. So these are actually going to be brand new random questions. Um, so yeah, let me think. What's your favorite kind of tea?
Oh, capital T.
All right, good answer. Good answer. Let me think. If there was an inanimate object in your apartment that could come to life and talk to you and be your friend, what would you want that to be?
Oh, I have a stuffed animal of a magic carp, and I would love to hear him just like carp carp all day long. Little
Nice.
little Pokemon reference.
It is indeed. It's a good answer. I don't know what I'd want. Hopefully not a sex toy. That'd be weird. Um, I do actually have a stuffed wombat. I think that'd be cool if that thing was alive.
Oh
No, I'm
yeah.
not sure if it would talk in English because that's another. Then it's an animal and a stuffed animal talking.
Mm.
But yeah, no, that'd be cool. Um, is there any genre you would like to write in that you haven't yet?
Oh, at some point I'd like to tackle a western. That's I have very vague ideas of how I'd like to tackle that, but that's definitely in the pipeline.
Yeah, I finished one. I finished a Western novel, I think, just under a year ago now. Um,
Mm.
and I've written a couple Western stories. It's fun, but it's very different. Like you kind of don't have the modern things to fall back on as much.
Mm.
Well, I guess it depends if you're doing a period Western or like a neo Western type of a thing set now. I was
It,
doing more of a neo thing, but then kind of old school Western elements appear, well, namely ghosts.
uh, yeah, I think I'd set it in the old west, the old Wild West.
Yeah, I mean, I still one of these days want to do like a period Western as well.
Mm.
Um,
I
yeah,
know I've
no,
seen enough John Wayne films, but I guess I'd have to watch all of them again.
yeah, man. I'd like to do someday. I'd like to do just like transgressive, like lit, just like maybe no horror elements, but just sort of in the vein of like a Chuck Palahniuk or an Irvine Welsh.
Mm. Okay.
Um, but I have no idea what the market is like for that, so I'm not rushing into that. But yeah, so we've hit about the 15-minute mark. I know, listeners, this is a shorter interview than you're used to, but uh, I don't know. I wanted to keep it tight and compact, and I think we've done that. And I haven't had a chance to say, but yeah, I really love Maxwell's novella. I edited it. Haven't had a ton of editorial work yet. I worked on this and Jonathan Rabb's The Crypt of Horror, a Halloween TV special,
Mm.
and obviously I'm editing current stuff for the press, but this is one of the first big books I tackled editorial wise. So I'm very proud of it, and Maxwell should be very proud of it.
Oh yeah. It's a good book.
It
Everyone should
is,
go
yeah.
buy it. Everyone should go get it for their friends. Holiday season.
Yeah, I mean it's not just a Halloween thing. I mean it's set partly in the winter, so it seems like a good winter book to me too. Although it's also set in the summer, so either way. Um, but yes, so I'm going to do a real quick plug on my end. So I said this before, but House of Blood and Teeth is currently on sale for $9.99 and 99 cents. That's on Amazon, so go pick that up if you want. And if you like it, please review and tell your friends. That's how the book starts getting some traction. As well as that, NICTITATIng Books has my first full-length collection, Screaming Creatures, which is also on sale for 99 cents. And the print is $6.99. As well as my ebook, Astrum, which people seem to like, which is a haunted forest UFO type thing, and that is 99 cents. Maxwell, do you have anything to plug while you're here?
Oh, well, next month, November 15th, I have uh, a sci-fi fantasy novella called The Giant Robots of Babel, and it's coming out through I Gotta Try It Books, which is an imprint of Madness Hearts Press.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're hearing this and it's November, mid-November, go check that out too.
Woo!
Maxwell, thank you for so much for coming on.
Of course.
And yeah, stay tuned, listeners. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And yeah, keep it spooky.